In this mini episode of svMerSea, Matt shows you one of the many things you can look forward to fixing when owning a boat. So sit back, relax, and enjoy and take notes. We've just moved back on the boat after being, I don't know, in an Airbnb for a little less than 3 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, we've been in Puerto Penasco. Tomorrow it'll be 3 weeks. And I'm praying that a week from today we get to splash. We don't have all the comforts of being in the Airbnb, but it feels like home here. And it's cooled down. It was 58 degrees when I woke up this morning. So, yeah, it feels a little bit more real being here. Hopefully it'll be comfortable enough. So we're here at the border at Gas Truck today to pick up packages. It's crazy. The border is right there, and we're in the Gas Truck parking lot. Matt's getting the packages while Zephyr and I... Zephyr! Say hi! Say hi! Zephyr and I are hanging out. This is crazy. It's weird. Easy border crossing.
So we're installing the cutlass bearing. I had it out, got the old one out, and I sanded it inside because there was a lot of, calcium or otherwise deposits in there. And I got it about halfway in and it froze. I couldn't beat it anymore, and it's brass, so it's not very strong. And I was afraid I was gonna mess it up. So I quickly, because it was cold and I wanted to get it out there while it's still, cold things are a little smaller than, I had to whittle this because it's exactly this size and it won't fit in there. So I had to whittle it down, and I was able to pop it out and sand it some more. And then I was able to get it about a little more than halfway in there. And I said, oh, okay, I'll try it. Thinking that it's just gonna get harder and harder to bang it in there. To protect the brass, use wood, rubber hammer, popped it in there, and all of a sudden it gets easier. I have no idea why. So now it spins in there, which is not what I want it to do. So most of them have set screws that hold it in place, and I think that's what I'm gonna have to install now. Another option is to pull it out slightly, and it's not going anywhere there either, but then you got that thing hanging out. That side, it's a little better. So that's a possibility, but that would hold it. It's kind of set there, but if it ever gets bumped forward, it could just slide in there and just create a lot of heat and possibly round out that hole. So I think what I got to do now is pop it out again, drill some set screws, and then be on our way. So when we get that done, we can put our shaft back in there, put the rudder back in there, and all that kind of stuff, and get it going. So I want to get a tap. I want to install taps inside of our strut, and that will hold the cutlass bearing in place because it's spinning now still. And so I pick a little piece of the wood. I picked a piece that is a knot, and the knot's really hard, so that will simulate a metal more or less. I drilled my hole with for a 1024 screw, you use a number 25 drill bit. Don't ask me, they start naming them with numbers after they get a certain size. And then you get your tap, your 1024 tap, put it in the hole, and then just carefully start threading that thing in there about the depth, a little more than the depth of the thing you want to put in there. And this is just a test. I'm sure there's different ways of doing it. You could use a caliper to measure the exact width and everything. So I got some grubbing screws, otherwise known as set screws, and I'm testing each one, see which one fits. If I knew which one was number 10, because the 10 in 1024, 10 means I think 10 millimeters or number 10 screw, and the 24 is how many inches per, how many threads per inch. So I gotta find that one, and then we'll have our thread. Let's see, I think. Now, another thing we want to make sure is that this thread and these are the same. And one way you can do that is to put the thread on top of the little tap and make sure that they all line up. And I think they don't. So I'm going to have to find other grubbing screws, I suppose. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Alright, so I noticed most boats have set screws that they put inside their struts in order to keep the cutlass bearing in place. And my set screws were the wrong thread, so I'm just using regular bolts for set screws. I'll put some Marlube in there and all that kind of stuff. This screw has a little kind of built-in washer or something, so it doesn't screw in all the way, but that's okay, it'll work out. So in order to do another hole, got a punch over here. You want to make sure that it's tangent, basically, that we have. We don't want to be coming in this way or that way. We want to come in just like we came in the other one, and roughly as far over. So easy way to do that is the end of the C. Goes the end of the C, so right about there. And then you make sure it's tangent, basically, so that it's going straight through. If it were to go straight through, it would go and dissect it in half. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. I make a little indentation with the punch, kind of slowly. Again, make sure I'm right in line with that other screw. Oh. It's always good to put oil on the drill bit. I didn't at first, and then I put oil on it, and it was so much faster. It was sad. So oil there, a little oil there. Every once in a while, oil the drill bits. It'll last a lot longer, and it cuts a lot better for some reason. A bit counterintuitive, but it does. Make sure it's straight in the lens. Great. Then I put in the larger bit. Always make sure the drill bit's not wonky, it looks straight. Sometimes you have it in there wrong and it'll make a horrible hole. So the big bit will follow the small bit's hole there. It makes it a lot easier for this bit to go through, a lot less friction. Again, I'm lining it up this way, and that you don't want it this way, that way, or that way too much. I'm lining it up with the other bolt because I trust that. I can see that it's in the right direction. I'm gonna line that up again. There we go. And then a tap. That's gonna clean up the metal a little bit. And then you can't just run a screw through that bare hole. If you run a screw through that bare hole, if you have a special screw that's meant to cut, it probably would cut something like brass, but it's not going to fit. So you need something called a tap, and the tap cuts new threads, basically. I like to oil the tap again. I believe you should oil the tap a bit so it runs smoothly. And then again, you want to make sure that you're straight on here, because this is the hole that's going to stay in the boat forever. And you apply some pressure, go real slow because you want to stay straight, and that makes our new thread there. You can kind of start seeing it cut. I'll show the inside there. Okay. And if you did everything right, it should go right in. Like that. So obviously I need to cut these bolts up a little bit. and I'll measure the exact, they're not totally straight on, but that's okay. We're going to cut a few, maybe an inch off these bolts such that it doesn't, they don't stick out, you know. Alrighty.